first video explained the XML basics and its syntax. Now we will see the XML document structure, different things like document entity, binary entity, CData section, etc. XML document, as we have already discussed, has two auxiliary files. A file that defines the tag set and structure and syntax rules. So we have a file .xml, and for supporting that we have a rule set. The rule set can be either a DTD, document type definition, or it can be an XML schema. Then another file with support XML is a style sheet, which is used to describe how the content is to be displayed using browser. We can extract the contents and make it ready for display in a browser in different formats. This file is known as an XML style sheet or XSLT file. So these two are supporting documents for the .xml file which we have created. The first two files are the rule sets, and this one is a styling file. Entities, regarding entities, we have already discussed certain details in the first video. Now, XML document can have either a document entity or binary entity. Entities are logically related collections of information. So, document entity is the entity which is physically within the file that represents the document. So, it can be either the entire document or it include references to names of other entities stored somewhere in a document. For example, we have a technical article. For example, we have some technical article. The beginning of the material and the ending of the material is is there in the XML file, but inside contents we have different news items or different parts of the article. They can be added as references within the beginning and ending of the our XML file. These entities can be stored as separate files. Every entity except the document entity must have a name. Then binary entity is information like images which are in binary format and they cannot be represented as text. They can be termed as binary entities and they can be added. They are in separate files and they can be added as data to the XML file. There are three reasons why we break these into multiple entities. First thing is defining a larger document into smaller parts make it more manageable. Then repeated entities need not be literally repeated. Suppose that if we have some data which is to be added again and again within the XML file, we don't have to add that larger content inside the file as it is. We can have any number of references to the copy of data. It can be stored in like functions and all. We can save it in a separate location and it can be referenced to this file n number of times. This avoids inconsistency among the occurrences too. Then the third thing is binary entities can be only referenced. Binary data cannot be added in textual data. So XML is all text. So binary entities can only be references. These are the three reasons why we go for entities. A reference to an entity is the name together with a prepended ampersand and appended semicolon. We already have seen this format while using GT, LT, etc. So ampersand and semicolon are the delimiters. So suppose that we have an image called image name is apple underscore image. This is the name of an entity. So this is how you reference it within our XML file. Entity names can be of any length and only condition is it begin with a letter, a dash or a colon. After the first character, a name can have letters, digits, periods, dashes, underscores or colons. These are the naming conventions. Then this we have already predefined entities we already have discussed in last part. DTD also can use user-defined entities. We'll be seeing that while we learn DTDs. Then processing entities. When the XML processor encounters the non-binary entity, it replaces the content with the value it references. Suppose that if it says ampersand GT semicolon, then that will be replaced with a greater than symbol. Likewise, all other entities, if it is a document itself, that will be replaced within the XML file. Binary entities are handled only by applications that deal with the documents such as browsers. Binary entities are not textual data, they will be handled by browsers or similar applications. XML processors deal only with the text content. The issue is that when we have n number of entities, writing all those entities together will affect the readability of the XML file. To avoid that situation, we can use something called as CData, which is character data section. The character data section format is as shown here. We have the angle bracket exclamation, then we have a square bracket, C data written in capital letters, another square bracket, and then after this we can write all the contents, then close both the square bracket. This is closed over here and this particular square bracket is closed here, and finally the angle bracket is closed and a semicolon is inserted. So this the use of this is whatever content you write, this content may contain apostrophe or greater than symbol or less than symbol or whatever special characters, we can write it directly inside this. How this is possible we will see. So CData allows to include special markup delimiter character directly in the section without using the entity references. The content. The reason is that when the parser encounters a CData section, it is not parsed by the XML parser. So whatever you write here is taken only as text. It will not be parsed by the XML. As it is not parsed by, we don't have to bother about any issues of writing a greater than symbol or less than symbol, apostrophe, etc. within the CData section. That is the advantage. So remember that there is no space between the square bracket and C or A and the next square bracket. So this here is an example of why the CData section and how it is applied. Suppose I want to write a text like this. Please check. I have to put 3 greater than symbols here and finally 3 less than symbols here. So if you want to write it directly within an XML, we have to write like this. But you can see here it affects the readability of the content very much. So instead of, if you have many such references, entity references, you have to go for the CData section. So you can directly write the statement like this. This will not be misinterpreted because the parser, once it sees that it is a CData, it will not be processed as greater than symbol. It will be considered just as text. So here the syntax is explains. Opening keyword is like this. There is no space between, as I have already mentioned. The only thing is that this content should not be containing double square bracket closing, because if it contains, suppose that if you have double square bracket over here like this, it will be interpreted as the end of the CData section. So only content which does not which is not allowed within a CData section is the closing delimiter like this. If it contains some data like this, it should not be written because that will be interpreted as the end of the CData section. And the converse is also true. If you write something like this within a CData section, it will be displayed as such because it will not be replaced. It will not be, only if the parser is parsing the data, it will be replaced. As we already said, CData section is not at all parsed. This will not be replaced as less than or greater than symbol. It will be displayed as such. XML validator is a program that validates XML. Validator cannot understand the tags. If suppose I write the data about fruits, I have custom tags like the fruit name, the color of the fruit, price, etc. If I have a student data, I have student name, roll number, mark, grade, etc. as the tag set. So validator does not understand anything regarding the tag set used. It simply checks whether the XML file conforms to the basic XML rules. That means it must have a prologue, it must have a single distinct root element. All the elements within it must be properly nested. These three are the basic rules, and such a document which follows these rules is known as a well-formed XML. And we already told that there are two other files, DTD and schema, which offers the rule set for the XML. So we can have DTD or schema which specifies the rules. If the XML is linked with a DTD or schema, then all the tags which is written within the XML must follow the rules mentioned in DTD or schema. If such a file is there and if a linkage is there to rule file, then the XML document is validated against the DTD and schema, and such an XML which follows all the rules mentioned in a DTD or schema is known as a valid XML. Valid XML will always be well formed. First, the parser will check the well formedity, and then if a linked DTD or schema is there, then the validity is checked. So valid XML means that XML is well formed XML. So remember the terms valid XML and well formed XML. Parsers can be of different types. Non-validating parsers always check for well formedity alone. Structure errors are detected and that will be informed to the user. It will not do any repairs as such. Validating parsers check its rule sets like DTD or schema, and the confirmation with it DTD or schema is checked. Not all XML parsers are validating parsers. Validating parsers detect and report all inconsistencies of the XML relative to the DTD or schema. This is a comparison between well-formed XML and valid XML, and here is an example of well-formed XML2.